Have you ever wondered to yourself how you can crush an entire bag of chips without even feeling hungry? Now, it's not because you're weak, it's because your brain has been hijacked. And in today's video, I'm gonna break down the science behind your cravings, overeating, and why junk food is quite literally engineered to make you addicted to eating more of it. So stick around because this could change the entire way you look at food forever. Hey, my name is Conan. I'm a fat loss coach for high-performing men who wanna lose body fat, boost energy, and reclaim their edge. And this is the food palatability reward hypothesis, or FBHR. Now, this isn't just nerdy science, it's the key to taking control of your health again. Now, you're probably wondering, Conan, what the heck is the food palatability? Can't even pronounce it. Food palatability reward hypothesis. You're probably wondering to yourself, Conan, what the heck even is that? Now, moving forward, just for simplicity's sake, we're going to refer to this as the FPRH. Now, the FPRH says that highly processed foods that are super calorically dense activate your brain's reward system. So think of your pizza, burgers, fries, chips, all that delicious goodness. Now, these foods cause massive dopamine spikes, leading you to want to eat even more and more and more of it. Now, dopamine is the chemical behind your brain's reward system. Now, every single time you eat something salty, sweet, or fatty, boom, dopamine hits. So now you're not just eating to live, you're eating for a high. Now, here's why the modern food environment screws us up. Think about the modern world we live in. Processed food is literally everywhere. Cheap, fast, and hyper palatable. And your brain is constantly under attack. Billboards, commercials, ads, you see it everywhere. Even when I was driving earlier today on the highway, I was bombarded by fast food restaurants left, right, and center. McDonald's, Subway, Burger King, Wendy's, you name it. And it's gone to a point now where it literally feels impossible to escape and to eat healthy. And now some people are more sensitive to food rewards, and this can include your genetics, your upbringing, and even your stress levels can impact how your brain reacts. So if you struggle with binge eating or cravings, you are not alone and you're definitely not broken. So for those of you who do not know, I used to grow up as a chubby kid in the Netherlands, and I ate a bunch of honestly just junk food literally every single time. For breakfast, I'd have a sugary bowl of cereal. For snacks at school, I'd have like muffins or cupcakes. For lunch, I'd have a Nutella sandwich. After school, I'd have a snack of like chocolate covered raisins. And then for dinner, I would eat whatever my mom would eat, which typically was pretty healthy, which I absolutely hated. But I'd always go for dessert, and I'd always go for seconds, and I'd always just eat a bunch of food nonstop. And then at the age of 11, my family and I moved to Canada, which made matters even worse, because for those of you who do not know the difference between European food and North American food, there is a huge difference. Even in like the way they manufacture their food, specifically in the US, these companies manufacture the junk food not just to taste really, really good, but even like the texture and consistency and like the way it feels, the way you chew it in your mouth. Imagine eating a cookie right now, like a soft cookie. It's like the consistency in your mouth and the texture, even that in itself is already like super, super addicting, right? These fast food companies, these manufacturers, they are literally evil because they have so much science behind like, okay, what makes humans want to eat even more of this? And they don't only include the flavors, but like I said, they also include the textures, the way you feel afterwards, the way it feels in your mouth, right? They take all this into consideration to make all of these foods super, super palatable. And so when I moved to Canada, I pretty much got exposed to this entire like new world of food. So much more just like junk food everywhere. I remember having like pizza pops every day because I didn't even know that was a thing growing up in the Netherlands. Frozen waffles too. I didn't even know that was a thing. And don't even get me started on the cereals. The cereal aisle at Walmart nowadays is literally, it might as well just be a candy aisle. I just got back grocery shopping, and one thing whenever you go grocery shopping is do not, and I repeat, do not shop around the aisles, because that's where the danger zone is. Try to shop around the perimeter where most of the fresh food is. Think of your fruits, your veggies, your lean proteins, your dairy products, all these foods. Try to eat more of those foods, and then try to stay away from like the middle aisles, because that is where they get you. Now, the NIH research found that people who respond strongly to palatable foods have more weight fluctuations, especially in teens and younger adults. So that yo-yo dieting struggle, which is something I used to deal with, is not genetics, it's biology. Okay, so thanks, Conan. Thanks for bringing this up to me. But now what do I do with this information? A couple action steps that I want you to do right away, and that's something that I personally did as well to kind of get rid of this whole being addicted to junk food, is step number one, remove all the trigger foods in your environment. So my kitchen is directly behind me, and if you were to look into my cupboard, my freezer, my fridge, you will notice that there's literally nothing inside of it. And the reason for that is because I'm not a maniac. It's because I know my trigger points, and so I know that if I have Pop-Tarts stored in the cupboard, or if I have sugary cereals, or if I have ice cream, I know that if I just have one small little serving size. It may or may not turn into the entire pint of ice cream or the entire box of cereal. So really be aware of your trigger points. And if you know that maybe one small little Oreo always turns into eating the entire sleeve of Oreos, then I would highly recommend just not even having it in your environments to begin with. So either try to not have it in your house to begin with, or try to at least hide it or lock it up so you don't have direct access to it. Number two, replace the sugary foods with more whole foods. So think of your foods that only have one single ingredient in them. Think of your lean sources of protein like your chicken breast, your fish, your beef, your eggs, your milk, and then your whole grains like oats, rice, potatoes, pasta, and then your healthy fats like your avocados, your whole eggs, your olive oil, your nuts, and your seeds. And now a lot of people will look at my current diet and say, wow, Conan, you're so disciplined. You're always eating fruits. You're always eating veggies. You always just seem to eat so clean. And if you guys watch my Snapchat or Instagram stories, you will notice that I typically always eat like 95% of the time these whole natural single ingredient foods. And it's not because I'm some special snowflake. It's not because I have more willpower or more discipline than anyone else watching this video right now. It's simply because my taste buds have been adjusted to what I eat. It has been shown study after study that we crave the foods that we eat the most. And so if you always eat junk food, guess what you're going to be craving? You're going to be craving more junk food. Whereas if you non-stop constantly just eat healthy food, guess what? You're going to start craving subconsciously more healthy food. And now this whole transition period of switching over from only eating junk food to mainly eating whole natural single ingredient foods, I won't sugarcoat it. There will be some time getting used to it. But I guarantee you, if I can do it, if all of our other clients can do it, you can do it as well. So go through the initial starting phase of kind of going through the suck, like, oh, this food is so boring. It kind of tastes weird. It's kind of bland, blah, blah, blah. But I assure you, after a couple days of doing this, your taste buds will start to adjust to this and you'll start to crave the foods that you eat most often. And eventually, after a couple weeks and months of you doing this, you're literally going to be looking forward to eating your bowl of oatmeal for breakfast, to eating your eggs, to eating your salads, to eating your greens, to eating your fruits. As we speak right now, I'm really looking forward to making my dinner, which is going to consist of avocado, chicken breast, and veggies. That excites me. When I think of a burger, fries, pizza, whatever, that really doesn't excite me. Not just because I'm not even craving it anymore, but then also the way I feel afterwards. I feel like absolute dog crap after eating that. And so you'll start to notice that by you switching over your diet, you're actually going to feel a lot more amazing after eating the food. And then what you'll realize is that once you go back to eating junk food again in moderation, you'll start to notice that, wait a minute, this actually wasn't as good as I thought it would be. And now after eating it, I actually feel worse afterwards. So it's like a lose-lose situation. Not only was this horrible for my macros, and again, like we're all about balance, like I'm not saying you should completely get rid of all the junk food, but I would definitely say in the beginning stages, try your best to kind of stay away from it. And then over time, definitely practice some moderation and balance. But you'll notice that like the ROI isn't really there anymore because you'll notice that the macros are horrible. You feel like crap afterwards. It kind of tastes bad as well. Most of these foods are super greasy and just kind of like feel a bit weird after. And it's like, I would rather eat my bowl of oatmeal with like some protein powder, some berries, which is super nice and sweet as well, by the way, over like a chocolate chip cookie. Now, again, this may sound really, really weird, but trust me, if you go through this process, you will start to talk like me as well. Now, number three, when you do eat mindfully and eat really, really slow. One habit that I always like to preach to my clients is try to chew the food so much that it almost turns into like a liquid into your mouth. And now I know that sounds disgusting, but a lot of people just kind of like rush through eating their meals. They'll watch YouTube videos as they eat their meals and they're just like kind of like aimlessly eating and they're not really fully present whenever they eat. And I'm kind of guilty of this as well. Like sometimes I'll put on a really good YouTube video while eating one of my meals, but a lot of people do this subconsciously. And that's also where like all these kind of small little snacks can sneak up on you. So whenever you do eat, try to be fully present when you do eat and really slow down the eating process because it usually takes around 20 to 30 minutes for your body to like actually catch up to actually realizing whenever you're full. So a couple months ago, I went to this all-you-can-eat buffet. It was a sushi buffet and this was actually right after my bodybuilding show. And granted, we were starving at the time, like literally starving. We kept on eating despite our stomachs literally being about to explode. We just kept eating because we hadn't gotten the signal in our brain for us to like stop eating. And it wasn't until we went to the bathroom and we walked around a couple laps when we noticed that, wait a minute, we are so full right now, we can barely move. And that's really when like the fullness started to like come out. So take your time with eating because your body usually does need a bit more time to catch up to you actually starting to feel full. And number four, build structure around your meals to avoid grazing. Just remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progression. And what I mean by this is try to have your meals planned out in advance so know exactly what you're going to be eating for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, just so you avoid snacking. And then also just to avoid like thinking about what to eat for dinner, what to eat for lunch, what to eat for breakfast, because I see so many busy professional men, family with kids, and they wake up every single morning, they rush out of the house without eating breakfast, and then they quickly go to Starbucks, and then they forget to bring lunch, and then they go get takeout for lunch, and then they grab fast food on their way home, and then they have a pound of ice cream, and it's like all just so unstructured structured. That is because you're just living in an unstructured life. Whereas if you just take a couple hours out of your day, do some simple meal prep, or better yet, order meals from a meal prep delivery company. This will simplify your life and it'll put your eating on a schedule, which makes staying on track so much easier. So if you're a high-performing man who is tired of being controlled by all these cravings and ready for a system with real accountability, go ahead and book a free strategy call with me down below. We'll basically go over your current goals, your current struggles, and create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush them in the next couple of months.